Hi, 1028. My name is Gurpreet Singh Sidhu, and I would like to thank Professor Armstrong for providing me this opportunity for doing my critical review. And I will start by critical thinking writing review rubric. And in section A, problem identification. So my topic was fuzzy QFD model. Its definition, its implementation, and how we can improve the quality of the product by using this method. And I did my used my case study of improving the quality defects of T-shirts that was made in Bangladesh by ready-made industry. So I will say I clearly identified the problem. So, and the problem statement is given in an abstract. So when the company design or try to launch a new product in a market, most of the time they do consider previous or past voice of customer. They don't or try to, or sometimes they neglect the future voice of customer. So this method, by using this method, we can identify the trends, their analysis, what's going to be important in the future, and how we can use that analysis, how we can like interpret that vague information into the voice of customer, and we can better develop our product. That is a topic of my paper. So I will say I did a good job in this. So I'm doing a level 4. And regarding the assumptions, so there are some assumption made in my paper, the assumption made by author, and assumption my own assumptions. So for example, when the author said that the relationship between these two quantities or the variables are weak or medium or strong, so I have to analyze those assumptions, and we are also made assumption about the linguistic variables. For example, like the for let's say this product is getting launched. How about the future acceptance of this product? So we made assumption. We use linguistic symbols for that. So let's say it's going up or it's going down or it's gonna be very up, very down. That's assumption I made and the author made. So that's what discussed in this paper. So I will say it was a good. And the next one section is analysis of the problem. So the method I used to tackle or to write this paper is I think is very efficient and a user-friendly method. So the problem is given in an abstract. It's there's a problem statement there. So that tells about the tells the user about what is the problem and how is the problem, like why is the problem, and then in an analysis, so the problem is discussed, its reason is discussed, its effects are discussed, like it will be affected only a customer or it will be only affect only the manufacturing company or stakeholders, and then what method we use to tackle this problem, how that problem got solved, and assumption that made for that method, and how the vague information or the subjective information got interpreted or transformed into the trends that are used in a method. So I will score level 4 in this part. And regarding the alternative points of view, so I will say I need mm, more information, need to add more information in this part, because I only critiqued and included my own perspective and the author's perspective. I could have done more. I could have included experts point of view from different sectors. So like fuzzy QFD model is not only implemented in a quality defects, like improving the quality defects, it also got implemented in a manufacturing sector, in a customer service sector. So I could have used those opinions of those findings in this section, but I need to improve on this. I definitely gonna improve in next critique review. And the next section is credibility of resources. So all the information that I use to write my this paper is taken from the credible sources. I read books from University of Toronto's library sources. I read some research papers and journal papers from online resources. And I also went to a public library in Brampton here to study more about the QFT model and how it got implemented. So all the evidences and the recommendations and every information that is used to write this paper is credible and is trustable. Another section is the next section is the conclusion and the problem solvers. And in this part, limitations. So the limitation of a fuzzy QFD model are discussed in detail in a critique. So in my paper, I try to critique this, like the limitations of this method, and I try to find out why we are using only this method to interpret or to say calculate that vague information, because this method has many limitations. One of them is like there is no universal set of numbers. So the number of the set of the numbers depends upon the QFD user or the type of application. So I can use different numbers, you can use different number, or another person can use a different number. So there is no set range, like universal accepted set range. And integration part, so the ideas are well integrated in my paper. So problem statement is in abstract, and then in analysis there is a problem, it's a reason, it's effects, then details about the model and how it got implemented and how we implement its findings and what are the findings. So everything is integrated and in a coherent way. And the next part is the conclusion. So in last paragraph in critique, so I concluded my paper. I gave suggestions, and I also critiqued the recommendation made by the author about how we can tackle the problem. So that is in my conclusion section, and I think I did well in this, and I will score myself a level 4. And next section is creativity. And I can say that I need to work on in this section. I should have get more creative ideas from more and more experts. So I need to work on this section. But I try to use creative ideas from my own perspective, more and my own experience. But definitely, in the next critique, I will work more on this in this section. And the last section is communication and adaptation to audience. So I will say my paper is very user friendly, and it's used a very common language. It's not like using any jargon or any kind of tough language that it's hard for understand for our audience. So it incorporates all the information that is needed to understand the problem, its reasons, its a solution, recommendations, and can we implement this into other sectors. So everything is there. But as I said before, I should have used more expert opinions into my paper. So I won't score myself a level 4 in this, and I will score myself a level 3. And I will say definitely I need more improvements in my communication and like my target audience. And that is it. So this was my critical review for the 1028. And thank you very much for listening to me, and have a good one.